Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So tonight I'm going to film a semi-cook with me, and that just means that I have cooked most of it already. I'm going to be making a velvet pork chops, and I got this recipe from Shelly's Home Life. We had some pork chops from, let's see, where did we get them? Harris Teeter. I'll show you what they look like. And they were like on a markdown, so I got they were really thick sized pork chops. And what I did was I went ahead and sliced them in half so that they're like little medallions. And I followed, seasoned it, put them in chicken broth. The only thing I didn't use, let me move that because my liquid is just about gone, was chicken broth. I just used 1 cup of water in the place of the chicken broth. But I didn't have the heavy whipping cream, so I'm going to kind of do a little bit of Shakema's velvet pork chop. And I thought I'd bring you along with me. So all I did for these pork chops was very simple. I just cut them in half because mine were really thick. If yours are thin, that should be fine. Seasoned them on both sides. Then I laid them in spray oil. She calls for 1 tablespoon of butter. I just did spray oil because I'm trying to stay away from as many points as I can, and I just sauteed them on both sides until they were done. Then I put 1 cup of water into the pan with the pork chops and let it reduce, and this is what I have left after my reduction. So to this reduction, she calls for half a cup of heavy cream. I do not have heavy cream, so I'm going to be using a half a cup of fat-free half and half, and then I'm going to show you what else I'm going to do to it to kind of velvet it up a little bit because I don't have heavy cream at my house. So she just says to, get all your drippings up, get all of your little bits and pieces at the bottom of your pan. So that's what I'm doing here. She also says use a wooden utensil. And I should have done this from the beginning, but all I did to the pork chops really was very simple. I just seasoned them with salt and black pepper. I used garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of lemon pepper seasoning is what I used in mine. And I just sauteed them in some spray oil until they were done. And then this is where I'm picking it up. And I thought that might be a little bit long process. So anyway, I've got in this fry pan, and I have my heat on low because I don't want it to cook too fast. So in this fry pan, I just have 1/2 a cup of the fat-free half and half. To that, I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon, and I actually have her cauliflower bake in the oven. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of fat-free 1 tablespoon of fat-free cream cheese. So let me level this off. 1 tablespoon. The recipe she uses does not call for that, but I'm trying to make it a little bit velvety with the things I have on hand. So that's 1 tablespoon. This is just a generic fat-free cream cheese. Also to this, let me move this out of my way. Also to this, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of the Ken's Steakhouse Light Sweet Vidalia Onion Dressing. And I'm going to turn my heat up just a little bit so I can actually get that cream cheese to melt. So I'm simply doing 2 tablespoons of the sweet Vidalia onion. This is light. I've done this with chicken. I've used this sauce with chicken before, but I'm going to give it a whirl with these pork chops and see if I like it. And then the last thing I'm going to add, which she did not add to hers, and I'll try to remember to put this in the description box below, is I'm going to add in 1 wedge of the Laughing Cow cheese. This is the Asiago Laughing Cow cheese. And what I'm trying to do or hope to accomplish is to make it nice and creamy, or the velvet texture. And so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to stir this around. The sweet Vidalia onion may give it a little bit of a sweet texture, while your Laughing Cow cheese might give it a little bit more of a creamy texture, and so will your cream cheese. But already you can tell that the texture is changing as these cheeses melt into this half and half. Now maybe if I had whipping cream I would have used that, but I don't normally keep that in the house. I did put these ingredients into the Weight Watcher recipe builder, everything except the fat-free half and half, and I got 1 smart point, but I'll let you know how much, and that's just for the sauce. I just put it in for the sauce. 5 ounces of pork chops was, I don't think I calculated that, but anyway, at the end of the video I will put it in. This is making a nice creamy sauce. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the pork chops back into this sauce and just let it come back up to room temp, or to pot temp. So I'm just going to add in. And the reason I thought about it, I was like, you know, we should be adventurous in our cooking. And I've never tried this before. I don't know if it's going to taste good or not, but I've had pretty good success in the past just trying to putting things together. And this seems like a really good combination. I know I did like the sweet Vidalia onion sauce when I made it with the chicken, and that was the first time that I had ever tried that. So I'm just going to take my spatula and just work it around these pork chops, just flipping, just trying to coat the chops with the sauce. And I will say it looks great. It smells great. Of course, my little kids will be the taste testers. And if you need to, if you don't feel like you have enough sauce, you can add chicken broth in if you like, or you can just add a little bit of water to it, which I may just add a little bit of water. That's probably not even a 1/4 cup of water. And I'm not even going to add all of that. And I'm just going to let this come back up. Let everything incorporate. It looks so good and it smells so good. So this is going to be Shakema's version of the velvet pork chop. I'll try to see if I can find the original recipe, and then I'll also try to see if I can link Shelly's video where she did the velvet pork chops. But again, I'm just tweaking this a little bit for my taste and my family. But this sauce, oh my word, smells amazing, looks amazing, and we are certainly going to enjoy this meal. So there you have it. That would be Shakema's version of velvet pork chop. And this is actually what it's going to look like. And we're going to serve this up on a plate. So thank you so much for stopping by and checking out our semi-cook with me. And we'll see you next time we're in our kitchen. Bye.